Welcome to Who Put This On, Season 3, Episode 11, where we watch Below Deck Mediterranean, Season 3, Episode 1. I'm Chris Lorenz.
Hey, this is James.
I'm Harrison Hoffman.
Noah Singer.
Max doesn't have a name.
Fuck me.
Oh.
I was thinking of like
Boo.
Max Rena, like a marina that you dock your boat at. It's all I could come up
You
with.
definitely should have been Maxon.
Max Joao with tech.
Oh, you missed like some kind of Max Boson kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You should have been
something like that.
Maxon.
Maxosum.
Sure. Okay. Maxon.
Max Bosom. I don't know. It's Max. It's Max is over there.
That's me.
Yeah, so, all right. Harrison, do you have the description up?
I do. It's kind of long, so I'm going to have to chop it somewhere in the middle here.
Do we, I mean, last week was pretty good.
Yeah. Last week was.
This one is so much longer than last week's.
Oh my God.
So it can't.
Is the Bravo one?
In Season 3 of Below Deck Mediterranean, the crew voyages from Naples to Capri to Positano, taking in a plethora of breathtaking stops along the Amalfi Coast. During one of the best charter seasons yet, Captain Sandy risks giving Hannah and Chef Adam a second chance. But will they find redemption and get back in Sandy's good graces?
That's it. Thorough. Like
that
it's
seems pretty short.
vague
Well-
but thorough. Like it's naming specific
So
people on the show.
basically,
It's gonna go through every
it's
single
basically
person.
just this huge paragraph where they talk about every single character on the show.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I can do that if we want to.
No.
That
Definitely.
doesn't even tell you.
This season, the crew will encounter
Ugh.
everything from hurricane winds, lightning storms, and tending to the unimaginable demands of their high-profile guests. But the ultimate test these yachties face is overcoming their differences in order to succeed in the work hard, play hard world of Below Deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go,
okay.
there you
That's a much
Yeah.
better. James,
Yeah.
what is this show?
What the hell is this show? It's a great question. All right, the show in a nutshell, it's so there's a big yacht that is a private charter luxury kind of yacht. Guest will book that, and there's a crew that just runs the yacht. So you got your stewards and your deckhands, and they just take care of all the boat stuff. And the show is about like what it's like to be one of those like stewards or deckhands. And so yeah, that's the show. It's about all the crazy shit they deal with below deck.
Yeah, so it's Vanderpump Rules on a boat.
Yeah, yeah, that seems about right.
Before we watched the show, Chris said this is definitely just like Vanderpump Rules on a boat, and that is entirely true. And I'm okay with that.
It's really spot on.
Yeah. Vanderboat Rules.
Vanderboat. Oh man.
James
So-
Vanderboat.
There's not a lot to go through in terms of recapping the show, but essentially the intro, all the people, and like say what they do. There's 3 stewardess. There's,
Every
like,
single one of the Americans is from Long Island.
woohoo! All these people are on boats before, except for one. Kind of.
Yeah.
There's 3 stewardesses. There's like a couple people dealing with, I don't know, what everyone else is dealing with. I don't know. There's a bosun that was really young.
And so the bosun, as I hadn't heard this term before. There's a lot of boat terminology. It was kind of great about
A
this
lot
show.
of boat words.
But I think he's like the head deckhand.
Before we get to the minutia here,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like they intro everyone. They kind of get the boat ready,
Yeah.
and then they have these guests that come on that are almost the biggest bitches I've ever seen or heard of in my life. And then, it's just them dealing with these bitches, and some shenanigans happens, and that's kind of the whole episode.
Yeah.
And I did look up what a bosun was.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
Because
So
I
we
was
get-
I was like,
Yeah.
well, you can't just keep bringing this up and then not really explaining.
Is it Bo Jackson's son?
So
I bet
on
it's not.
Wikipedia,
Is it a subatomic particle?
it's
I was thinking of that too. Yeah.
it's called a boat swan, spelled differently than they say in the
Okay.
show. And there's bosun, or bosun is like some of the things.
Mm-hmm.
It's still kind of confusing. On Wikipedia, he is the senior most rate of the deck department and is responsible for the components of a ship's hull. The boatswain supervises the other members of the ship's deck department and is typically not a watchstander.
I don't know what the watch stand
That makes
is.
sense. It's basically
He's the
There's
guy
like
that
the head
watches.
deckhand. They just manage
Yeah,
all the deckhands.
I agree. Yeah,
they're the
yeah.
manager of the deckhands.
Right.
Yeah,
And the deckhands are all
totally.
the dudes cleaning the boat, making sure all the stuff. They're handling like the lines and the anchors and like
Yeah.
all that kind of shit.
And
Right.
this guy doesn't have to take a watch shift like overnight or whatever. I think that's what that
Right.
means because he's the manager. I guess it's like the manager's not on call kind of thing.
right.
And it's
yeah.
so as we get into this, what was his name? Does anyone remember that guy?
Was that Conrad?
Conrad.
Conrad
So-
the bosun?
He's like the youngest person on this crew.
23.
He's
23.
23.
And he's
Casey
the guy.
older than him?
He's one. I mean, to be the manager of all the
Yeah,
deck
yeah,
people, he's super young.
Yeah.
He's 23.
Yep.
He
And
seemed,
he looks
seemed
really
competent. Like,
Yeah.
He definitely seemed like he knew what he was doing, which you know.
I mean, he's got 4 years experience. He's been like
Well,
this
he's been
bosun
at-
thing for like a year and a half. He said, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can definitely tell he's a bit salty and sensitive to his age, and people like to bring it up a lot and constantly because he also looks like pretty young.
Yeah,
Like-
he looks
definitely
younger than he actually is. But do you think this is like the max he's gonna be at, or does he eventually get to captain at this point?
I mean,
Probably
if he's already a bosun at 23, that seems pretty good.
Maybe
Yeah, I
captain
just don't
like
know what
sometime.
the trajectory to be a captain is.
Like I don't know if like the skill set of being a captain is just different than being a bosun.
Ooh, here's
I
a
mean,
question.
you're like a manager, so I can't imagine that like the managerial experience doesn't like transfer over
Oh, yeah.
to being captain.
So I have a question here. So we went through a lot of the roles, like the deckhands, the stewards, all that. There was no first mate. What happened to that? Wasn't like the first mate? Like that's a pretty standard boat title. What happened here?
Maybe it's just not a big enough boat.
That boat's huge. There's 20 people running this boat.
no, I know.
Thir-
But it's not
13
like
people.
a. It's
13.
not like a cargo ship or like a Navy ship or it's not like some insane ship.
I feel
don't know,
like the
man.
first mate is the person that is he the person driving the boat?
They
Like-
drive the boat when the captain's not.
I think it's
Well,
like,
the captain's
They're like next- they're
this
like next to
captain
the
is
lines of the
not
captain.
driving the boat. They
Yeah,
have
she
somebody
was.
driving the boat.
Oh, was she not? Like she was up in the wheelhouse.
I think sometimes she
who's
is.
driving the boat if she's not driving it?
well, they did
Wait,
bring up
wait.
like the 3 other like team members that weren't featured in the show. There was 2 engineers and one. What was the third guy?
Some sort of engineer. Doesn't
There's
matter.
another engineer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one
the
of them
engineers
could
aren't
be,
driving the boat. Like they're making sure
Right.
the engines are
No,
going
but they-
and all that.
So they had the one person from Long Island that was like a boat, like he.
So
But he's a deckhand.
He used to be a ferry boat driver in Long Island, but
Right.
but now he wants to get into this luxury yacht game. So he's like I realize I have to start at the bottom. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
be a
Well, he
deckhand.
was the captain of that ship.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
No,
but he
no,
was
but
the
he
captain,
wasn't
but
driving. He was the captain.
He's just
Right.
a deckhand.
He's driving this boat.
yeah.
But I think like
No,
the
No,
captain,
no, he's
not
not
driving
driving
the
this boat.
he is at the
I
bottom.
swear
of,
they said
No,
He's
he's
driving
definitely
the
not.
Deckhand,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was
Yeah.
a deckhand. But also, like, I think the difference is the captain of these boats. They're also like the salesperson too, right? Like they're making sure the customers are coming in, right? Like they're making money. I think that's like a big difference between like a captain of that versus the captain of the Fire Island Ferry.
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah, being the captain of this luxury yacht charter thing is a totally different game, and that's why he's starting over, right? Because he wants to. I think that like that's what he wants to do,
Right.
But he basically had to hit the reset. It's like a discipline change. Like, okay, I got to go learn this business, so I'm going to start at the bottom, which is a deckhand.
It also goes between the difference between the bosun and the captain. Like the captain's in charge, I think, of like bringing in the money
Yeah.
as well as the operations of the boat.
Oh yeah,
And the
captain's
bosun's just like.
Are you sure? I'm
operations.
not sure the captain is in charge of bringing in the guests.
well, like they're
like
They might be.
there's
Yeah, I don't know.
definitely a whole side of this business that's running on like land that's just
Yeah.
getting the requests and sending them out.
There's got to be
Right.
a sales
like
department.
the
and
captain is in
team.
charge of making sure the guests have a good time,
yeah for sure.
which I don't think this captain is doing a great job of, at least at the moment.
Right.
Like,
Oh yeah, we definitely got to get into that.
I think my argument is that at this high level of service,
Yeah.
when those customer requests are coming in, they're probably dealing with the captain because the captain has to verify, like, we can actually handle
yeah, the captain's definitely
Imagine.
involved once the customer is like
interesting,
found,
right? Yeah.
but I don't think that they're finding customers. They don't have time for that.
Seems reasonable.
I'm just gonna make an executive decision. We're going real deep on naval terms and not the show.
We gotta get deep on the naval terms.
Dude, we're into the minutia.
We could get into any minutia we want, Max.
we are below deck.
All right.
All right, so let's. Hannah, I think, is one of the most featured people in this.
We
Hannah.
definitely got to talk about. Which is
She is the head
Yeah.
stewardess,
Yeah.
and there was the cook had this great line that I have to say. I thought she had resting bitch face, but that's just how her face rests.
That was a great one. Thanks for writing that one down.
And she definitely has resting bitch face because she is a bitch.
Her
Oh, you
Hannah?
think she's a bitch?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Hannah's fine.
But she's dealing with a bunch of bitches, so
Right.
like I don't know if that's because she's dealing with these like annoying people or she's just like that in general.
I 100% think that she just has to deal with this shit all the time.
She
Doesn't seem like a
That's just
bitch.
what your face looks like when you're just getting shit on all day by these
All
like
the
rich
time.
assholes.
Yeah. She just doesn't seem like she. It doesn't, at least so far, doesn't seem like she's great at that job.
no.
And from what we kind of gather, she's kind of on her second chance. She almost got fired the year before, so both her and the cook are on their second
I mean,
chance,
we got-
right?
Yeah.
We didn't watch season 2, so we don't know
We don't
specifically
know.
what happened.
We got to go
But
get the lore.
My guess is that she would have been fired, but since she's good reality fodder, she didn't get fired. There's definitely some different criteria when you turn your yacht into a reality show
Yeah.
than like a non-reality show yacht.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like we should clarify, everyone who works on this yacht is quite attractive.
Yes.
I bet that's normal though. For the
Talking about
business.
no, but the criteria for the people who
Sure.
work on this boat.
Oh, like, do you think it's more like? I bet in the luxury yacht business, that's just like what
Yeah,
happens.
that's just kind of.
You're definitely going to need to have the people that deal directly with the customers be attractive,
Yeah.
but like everyone is attractive.
Well, the
like,
engineers
even-
look normal, but
the
like, they got no
engineers
airtime.
weren't ugly though.
They were like normal looking people. They were fine. I'm just saying, like on the scale of like these guys are like all
Yeah.
like 9s and 10s. And,
They
like,
were
just
normal.
normals.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because I mean, they're not on the reality show,
right.
But like, if you're not on the reality show, I feel like a couple of those like ancillary people that are just like cleaning up and like making the boat ready for people don't have to be attractive. Like the stewards definitely need to be attractive for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm confused. So like,
This is how that business runs,
like
right?
there's a segment in this where the guests go on like this like mini boat to other
Yeah.
boats.
Yeah, like a little dinghy. Kind
I'm
of.
like-
Hospitality trip.
Who is who was that guy like taking that boat over? Was that the Long Island dude that was the captain?
That was Joao.
Oh, Joel.
like how is
it
that?
was it was Joao plus the female deckhand plus the Long Island ferry guy all took them out.
On
I'm
the
not sure who
dinghy.
was
It was
driving
all
it.
three. I thought Joao was driving.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was driving. I don't know.
Like
Well-
it seems weird that like you have the stewards that they're definitely directly dealing with the customers, but then these other people are also like they're in charge of keeping the boat.
They're in charge of manual labor. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is their job. Like they're in charge of
Yeah.
the manual labor. Like you're still gonna have to interact with the guests when you're helping them out with their kayaks or the jet skis or whatever they're
Right.
doing. But like you're the muscle, you
right.
know?
They're not
Yeah.
going to get the drinks and such, but like they're like, okay, we gotta go get this dinghy. Somebody's got to drive the boat.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to tie the boat up to the other boat. Like,
100%.
There's just things that got to happen, right?
Yeah.
And so like they're just making sure all those things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only time they interacted with the customers. I thought.
Oh, for sure.
It is
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure, definitely in this one for
So-
sure. But,
Their-
like,
their job isn't to
could
go get
certainly,
drinks,
I could
right?
certainly foresee other situations where they might have to interact a little bit.
They just like doing
Oh, yeah.
push-ups in front of the
Yeah,
customers.
hey,
now?
do push-ups. Hey, get someone
Well,
over here to do push-ups.
One of the guests on this excursion trip, when they get back, is like, "Give me the line. Let me show you how to do it." I'm just, it's like, "What? No, ma'am, you cannot touch the line. Like, we're not like legally allowed to let you do that. Like, I got to do this."
She was definitely hitting on that guy too.
Oh yeah,
And
she's
she was
also
like-
real hammered.
She
Yeah.
was real so the point of this
Yeah.
trip was that they were going to go to these other boats. What do they say?
Hospitality check.
visit.
Hospitality
no,
check.
That's not. That's not.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like,
it was
we got
hospitality
100%.
visit. Yeah, hospitality visit.
That's not the one thing I was looking for. They were husband shopping.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, it was
yeah.
also
yeah,
that.
their
Oh,
husband
yeah.
shopping.
Husband
right.
shopping is what I was looking for, guys. You all failed.
No, they teed up boats. So to be fair, they first said, like, "Hey, we want to do a hospitality check with the other boats," and they're like, "What does that mean?" They're like, "We got to make sure everyone's got a drink in their hand or something."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, these girls want to go on a husband hunt or something. Husband check."
I feel like that's a
Husband
very James thing to do to go out and make sure everyone has a
Oh,
drink.
totally.
Hospitality
Yeah,
check.
Hospitality check.
Is
If I
it a-
were
it's a
living
party.
the yacht life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably I'd be doing that.
I
If
think
you're
we
on a
have-
boat with me and you don't have a drink in your hand, you're messing up.
I feel like if you like entered a drone into this, that would be really good. because you're just like, hey, give me a beer.
Oh, I
and
was
you
like-
just drone it over.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I think we do need to steal the hospitality check. I like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Pretty good. It's pretty
hospitality check, everyone. Oh, you don't have
Oh,
one.
okay.
I want to go deep in on the guests.
Let's
good.
do
Okay.
it.
This is like some Westworld shit where the guests are just complete assholes every fucking minute.
Yeah.
The first interaction we have with these people is they ask for some nuts.
We should tee up who the
right.
guests are.
They're right. Wait, what?
So there's like 4 or
yeah.
5
Let's
ladies.
go
There's
together.
4 to 5 ladies.
There's one
only 2 of
primary.
them speak.
Right. So the main lady, who's
Yep.
the primary, right? Like
Yeah.
she's the CEO of this
Nichelle.
company.
Nichelle with an N, as in Nykel.
Of course, it's with an N. Yeah, so she's like some super mega rich CEO
Yep.
running this business, and she's on this lady trip with like 4 of her friends, something like that.
It was 5 of them in total.
5 in total, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So her and her 4 friends, all like super mega rich, I guess. I don't know. Like anything else. I just remember she was the CEO. They're all mega rich. They're all huge bitches. But we'll get into some of the details.
Yeah.
And that's kind of so. Oh, the other thing of this is they all have like these preference sheets on the guest, so they like have all the things they like and don't like and blah blah.
Yeah.
Including like foods they can't do, things they want to do, things they don't want to do, all that kind of stuff. And so it seems like the expectation is that like everything's just kind of handled for them on this like luxury chartered thing. Like they don't have to think about anything. Everything's just handled, and like they should like the crew should know like everything they want.
Well, that's a good point. So, how much do one of these cost to like
Wait,
set the
Whoa,
audience?
let's not pivot away.
We'll come back to it. We'll come back to
no,
it.
no, we're talking about the customers, and we were saying
Yeah,
that they
yeah,
have
yeah.
a high expectation.
Yeah,
All right, if
sure.
we're doing this, we're doing Price is Right rules.
Okay.
We gotta.
Price is
Yeah.
right. Okay. So
Okay.
So
how many days on the boat?
Okay, so I have a price for a week on this specific yacht.
5
Okay.
days or 7 days?
It just says a week. I don't know.
Okay.
And the yacht's like what, like a
So
couple hundred feet, right?
so
Like it's a big time yacht.
It is all in like boat rental, crew, food,
Yeah, everything.
alcohol.
It's a total
all
cost.
in, all inclusive.
You can have 12 guests
Okay.
in 6 rooms with a 13-person crew.
Oh, so it's the cost for the whole boat,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
per person.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Fuck.
I don't know how to-
$43,000.
Okay.
that can't be enough.
For a week?
No, he put a guess out. Like we'll come back to it.
No,
So fine.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Seems like you're way off though. Because
That
Chris knows
really
the
gave
answer.
us the hit. Yeah.
I had to.
Here's a
Do
crazy
you think
thing.
he's way
though.
too high or way too low?
Yeah, I don't
No.
know. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't
let's
know.
keep it going then.
Okay,
and we'll come
okay,
back.
keep
Yeah.
going, keep going, keep going.
Like I
could
was
be either.
originally thinking like 33, but
No. So I'm gonna go with 27,500.
Nope.
All right, James, what do you...
I'm gonna say it's in the ballpark of like 400,000 to 500,000. Like this is like you guys are off by a factor of 10.
Wait,
Fuel-
for the
fuel
week.
alone is gonna cost like 10 grand a day. for this
Wait,
kind of boat.
400 to 500,000 for the week?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking a week here.
Well,
400 to
You said
500,000 for the week.
27K.
Yeah, yeah.
To be
I'm
clear,
saying
that's not.
27K.
Yeah,
you're
you can't
saying
even pay for the fuel.
400K is your guess. Price is Right
oh,
rules.
sorry, it's Price is Right rules. Yeah, I'll say 400K then.
Okay. Okay. Harrison?
His Price is Right rules 400K.
Harrison?
Jesus.
And I think I'm still under. I think I'm still lowballing. To be clear.
Okay, so we're talking about 7 days. We're talking about 12 people.
Up to 12 people.
We're talking about
It's a few
so
100-foot long
food,
yacht.
Food and drink for 12 people for this amount of time. We're talking about a 13-person crew for a week. We gotta be talking about $150,000.
Whew, lower than I expected. Okay. What do we got?
Harrison is the winner,
Oh, nice.
Oh shit!
but he's not really close.
Oh no!
What is it? 200?
70?
$399.
It's
$283,000.
Holy shit.
That's not that bad.
That's a lot of
And
money.
It's not
that's
that
during
bad.
the low season.
Yeah.
The high season is $334,500.
What do you mean, James? That's not that bad. I could buy my own fucking boat for that money.
No, you can't.
No.
Not
For
that
one week-
boat. Not
is-
that boat. I'm
yeah.
just saying a boat.
Oh, sure. You can
sure.
go buy any piece of shit boat. Yeah. What do we? What is the comparison here?
You can buy a boat for any amount of money.
You can get a really nice 30-foot sailboat for $280.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're trying to do, compare.
all right,
here,
moving
but
on,
sure.
moving on.
Yeah, no, like the things you got to consider is like fuel is massively expensive for these types of things. Fuel and water is more expensive.
Get a
13
sailboat.
people's like full-time crew, big time money there. Like private chef, private captain, all these things. This boat is like I don't know. I don't think 283 is like that's. I'm
Dude,
surprised we haven't
You,
booked this
you no,
thing.
no, you were. I know we played Price is Right rules, so you're out. But you were
Yeah.
by far the closest.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Thank you, Noah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's by far the closest.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I
let's do
guess
the math here.
100,000
No,
and
Harrison
he
might
did
have it.
250.
I don't know, but
I mean, it's pretty close to
I
300.
mean, I'm off by 120.
It's
yeah.
pretty close. It's pretty close.
do we do the high season? Because I feel like we're watching.
Yeah,
No,
no,
I
it
think
was
I am
definitely
close.
high
I was
season.
off by 120 or off
it
by
was definitely high
130.
season.
Oh, if it's high season, then yeah, James is way closer.
I mean, it was gorgeous outside when we were
That-
watching.
I mean,
it.
that's true too. That's
Yeah.
true.
So these people
we're
are
talking about
making-
so they're paying $350,000 for 1 week on this boat. So you can imagine their expectations are
Yeah,
quite high.
I definitely. So as we get to this lady asked for nuts when they get on the boat,
Yep.
and
Yep.
there's this counter as we go through this like 5-minute segment of how much time it takes the crew to get them some nuts.
I can't believe they had to ask more than once. I really can't believe they had to ask more than twice. They asked like 5-6 times for these fucking nuts, and it took over 30 minutes to get a goddamn thing of nuts.
30 minutes to get nuts. If it took me 30 minutes to get nuts at a restaurant that didn't cost me $400,000 to be at, then I'd be pissed.
I don't think this is supposed to be on for a week. I think they're just on for like a day or two.
I have no idea how long they're there for, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
They didn't. I don't know.
I
didn't really
I think they
specify.
said, like they were there for a few days, maybe like 4 days. I don't know,
So like
some amount of days.
this whole nut situation is great though, because basically like it starts with a very simple request. One of these like, can we like, hey, I'm hungry. Can we get some nuts? And then the what's her name?
Hannah.
Hannah's like, okay. How about a fruit plate? I'll go get them to whip you up a fruit plate and some nuts. And we're like, sounds great. Little do they know that like that getting this fruit plate is going to delay the nuts by 30 fucking minutes.
It's like
Um,
the chef just goes through and he's like cutting fruit, making this fruit plate, but all this lady asked for was nuts.
The
And it-
chef has no idea what the request is because it was not properly relayed to him.
Yeah.
Like she should have just said, "Hey, make a fruit plate. I'm gonna go bring these nuts out to the."
She should have just went and got a bag of nuts.
Yeah.
Put them in a bowl herself and brought them up.
No, exactly.
That's
but
all
that's
you
what
do.
the stewards actually did the nuts thing. Like later,
Yeah.
like they actually took like the bag of nuts and put it out. Like
Do you
it's
think that-
absurd.
Do you think that there was some weird editing there and that like she was busy doing something else in this 30 minutes? Because it seemed like
Well, it looked like she was getting some drinks going, and so like they were at the bar at like the top level of the boat, right?
Yeah.
And they're like getting some drink. Like they're just first thing you do on a boat, right? You gotta get some drinks. So they go to the bar, get some drinks. They're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, do you have any nuts?" That seems very reasonable when you're getting a drink. It's a bar.
some nuts.
Seems very plausible to be nuts.
I don't know, at this price point now,
Now I'm
like
almost
now it's like actually, you know what? They better be coming out with some rare exotic nuts, like 40 different kinds.
They should be coming out with the caviar. The caviar should be there when you're getting on that boat.
Right.
How is there no food when you get on that boat?
That's
like ready to
true.
roll?
There should have been drink. I mean,
snacks,
they
drinks.
had
laid
champagne
out.
ready to go. There should have been some snacks. There should have been some stuff.
100%.
This is the first people on this boat, right? So like,
They're definitely not really in the groove yet.
It's opening
yeah.
day of the restaurant, right? Like it's shit's that
Working
order.
some kinks out.
at this, but still at that price point, like
Yeah.
there is no flaw.
Yeah. So like
So they're pissed.
Sure, yeah.
So we get around. So like now we go to the customers who are terrible to the crew. Like they're terrible. They're not very nice to them. But when you're paying that kind of money, that the expectation is just going to be so high. Like it's going to be really
Yeah.
high.
I love when they finally
Yeah.
got the nuts.
Yeah.
And the first response is, "Do you have any honey roasted nuts?"
yeah.
It was
Okay.
like, of course you would ask for some
Right.
goddamn honey roasted nuts.
Right.
So okay, I want to bring something else up that's related to the situation.
hit me.
Do you think that because these people are on this reality show that is about like what it's about, that they are playing these things up and creating these situations so that they can be on TV on this reality show?
Like the crew's playing it up, like intentionally delaying it.
The
or-
customers are
Oh,
playing up
hamming
what's
it
going
up?
on in the
The ham.
situation.
These ladies
'Cause they're on
just
reality
seem
TV.
like that's them.
Because like they were using their real names.
Yeah.
They were using their real names for sure.
Like, I don't know anybody who wants to go on TV and be a bitch.
unless you a bitch.
Except these rich people who want to go and brag to they show their rich friends, like,
So do you? So I mean, as we talk about cost here, do you think you get like a discount for being on a reality show, or it's like an incentive to be in this boat because it is a reality show?
Nah, you definitely get that discount.
You
I
think,
don't
like,
know.
We're like, hey, we knocked 20%
You
off.
get like a 10%. You don't get a big discount. I guarantee it. You get like a 10% discount.
it definitely doesn't
know.
seem like it's a perk for
But, like,
these sort of people.
It,
No.
I guess it might depend on like the market at the time. Like how many like 200-foot yachts are available, and if you can find one, you're like, oh, there's no more left. Only this one on the, but it's a reality show. Like
Maybe it's
you're just like,
like, God, like, do you guys really want to go on the reality show? Okay, we're going on the reality show boat.
Yeah, again, like at that price point, I can't imagine a discount plays a factor, right? There's like you're paying that much for the service and then the privacy,
Yeah.
right? And
until
so
they bring those cameras out.
right,
there's
and
no-
so now you got cameras. Like, I don't think it's a question of a discount. It has to be either the
It's a
person
whole-
wants it or they're like cherry picking the customers.
So one thing I did notice when they were talking about like okay, here's who like the customers are going to be. They did kind of weirdly name and give like a plug to the woman's company.
Oh, yeah.
CEO of a
it's
very
like she's the CEO
successful-
of blah 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 blah.
Oh, they
a
did?
leading sports marketing agency. Blah, blah, like they
Oh.
like something like that happened. So I'm like, I wonder if
yeah.
there's
I
something
missed
like that
that.
going on.
Yeah,
where
reality-
like, hey, like you can be like, hey, we'll plug your business on this TV show if you let us film your trip or something like that, or
Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
is there any stipulations of like, hey, you know how you're portrayed on this show? Because they're not portrayed in a good light,
They are not.
and I don't know if they could have been worse or better. Like, did they make them look bad and because that's only the footage that they had?
No,
Because they were that bad?
they were bad.
No, I'm just saying, could they have been worse and that we didn't see it?
It's possible.
You don't think so? I
I
mean,
don't think I think if it
we
were
don't-
worse, we would want to see it.
we do
the
get to
customers wanna
see
it.
like all the meals that they were at, and we get to see a lot of the stuff they do. Like,
Oh,
I don't know if there's a lot of time that we didn't see.
No.
They definitely went from like sunlight to like nighttime pretty quickly, though. Between like the excursion and dinner, dinner was like completely dark.
Chris,
Yeah.
I want to talk about dinner.
Oh, we got to get into dinner.
Before we get into dinner,
Okay.
well, I guess this can lead us to dinner. There was a quote that the like head person says, like right as she gets on the boat and talks to the captain, and she says like, maybe join us for dinner for our last evening. And I was
Oh,
very
yeah.
confused
Oh.
on what that meant.
It was amazing.
And now that I know this is a multiple day thing, it seems like, oh, maybe on their fourth day, which is their last day, the captain will join them for dinner. But like at the time, I was just like, what in the hell does that even mean?
Well, I mean, I
Is that like maybe tonight will be the last dinner? If it's not good?
No,
Is what I
yeah.
was thinking for a second.
It was, yeah.
I definitely understood what they meant, but I did think that it was a weird way for them to introduce themselves as games like, oh, hey, you're the captain. Well, maybe we'll invite you to join us for dinner on the last night. Like, but other than that, we never want to see you again. Like, it's just kind of a weird intro.
Like, is that the expectation that you'll never see the captain? Like,
I
you
don't
only
know.
get to see Hannah resting bitch face. That's it. And the
yeah,
cook.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
Like the only people they really interact with are the three stewards and the cook.
and
I
then
think that that's somewhat by
and
design.
then the party
though.
crew, and then the bosun's party crew.
The
Right.
party crew.
Well, when there's activities, yeah.
the boat crew.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
excursion crew.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think that's by design, right? Like, it's not like when you go to a fancy restaurant, you see literally like the dish cleaner and the dude taking out the trash. Like, you see your
But-
waitress or waiter.
Yep.
But you do
And-
see
You got your front of house staff,
Right.
your back of house staff.
you do see the manager though at most of those places, which would be the captain here.
Yeah.
And I feel like as we go through this, the captain is really dropping the ball a little bit on
The
this.
captain's driving the fucking boat though. Like,
the captain
they
just
have to
needs
have
to
some
make sure
reasonable-
that the boat is, delegates to the right people.
I don't think the captain's job is to take the drink orders though. Like she has the
No,
head
she
steward
just
for
needs
that.
to be generally aware of how well the guests are doing.
Oh,
It's
sure.
her job to make sure that the guests are happy.
The captain should be checking in, like when the manager of the restaurant comes around, is like, "Hey, is everything going good?"
Yeah.
Which
blah,
we
blah.
don't see happen at
We
all.
didn't see that happen, but yeah.
Until like spoilers, the next day the guests go to the captain and say, "Hey, we're not having a good time here," which
Which maybe something that played into that. Should we get into the dinner?
yeah.
Dinner time.
Oh
time.
man, somebody's got.
Oh,
somebody's got to go
so
about
this
dinner.
dinner shows up.
Course 1 is a nice caprese salad. Somebody says it's well seasoned. Course 2, it's I believe a bucatini, which is a nice, sort of wide spaghetti type noodle in a nice sauce.
In
There was
a
a bowl.
bowl.
Lemon caper sauce.
Yeah, there was caper and there was like a
Fish
shrimp
on
or
top.
something.
Yeah.
No, the shrimp was for lunch.
The shrimp was lunch.
They
Okay.
liked lunch,
Lunch was good.
which was also just kind of like a rice noodle bowl thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
It was
then dinner, lots of complaints. They did not like the presentation of this meal at all.
Oh,
They were like, the quote was, "My dog eats
Slop.
food like this."
my
This
dog
is
eats
slop.
food out of a bowl. Oh yeah,
Slop.
they're like, this is not dinner
And it's
presentation.
like, this is not a dinner presentation. Oh
I've
my
never
gosh.
even heard about that.
You're not
before.
at the same echelon as these women, James.
She's like, I didn't mind how the food tasted, but this is not a dinner presentation.
So the chef says, "Oh, well, what can I get you?" And there's this one comment that drives me fucking insane. This one lady says, on my preference sheet, I said, "I don't want anything starchy." And then she says, "Can you make me a grilled cheese with truffles?"
Just like a test.
It was definitely a test.
It's unbelievable.
Well, so they were all
I don't
complaining about the
understand that
starch.
client at all. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want starch, but you want starch?
She's like, not like, honestly, like, I think that she is the prime suspect of like, I'm starting shit because I'm on a reality show because she's
Yeah.
trying to like
Yep.
fuck with the rope stuff.
She's
yeah,
also
like, she's-
really drunk.
Oh, she's definitely drunk.
So, like,
She's like,
you,
I know, I
you
was
might be
thinking about
right.
cheese.
She definitely seems like she's hamming it up.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that if that's just because she's really drunk or if she's like on this reality show. But why would you want to be on a reality show portrayed in such like a negative light?
There are a lot of people on reality shows who are.
Yeah, like
Portrayed
literally
pretty
every
negatively.
person we've ever watched on a reality
They get the
show.
most camera time, right? They get all the drama.
Gotta get that drama.
Yeah.
Oh man! So the other thing on dinner, so they were all pretty pissed about like the starch and like we don't want this slop, whatever. All right, we just want you to like. So they call the chef out and they're like, you just gotta step it up. You just gotta just wow me and like I just want it to be like a real like this is a thing I couldn't make at home kind of comment.
I want you to make me something that just makes me goes, wow. It's like, wow.
Yeah,
Oh
which
my
I mean,
gosh.
I don't know. I guess for $300K or whatever, you're like, yeah, you
Oh,
want some
yeah.
good food, like that's fair, somewhat ish. And then so like he's like, okay, I'll go make something, and so he makes like an ahi tuna or something. That kind of went okay, it seemed. But then like one lady's special request, like, can you make me some like spaghetti? And the chef is like, what, are you kidding me?
It
How
just
am I
made you
supposed
pasta.
to wow you with spaghetti after I just made you
A pasta.
2 noodle dishes? Like,
bitched
I
me
was
out,
just
yeah.
like, what?
And it sort of flashes to him in the kitchen just saying like, "Yeah, I'm making you fucking spaghetti like my 5-year-old niece."
Yeah,
And I was like,
he said,
yeah.
Do you want me to butter the noodles with Parmesan like my 5-year-old likes?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that job seems terrible.
And just like the
Well-
expectations are so high, right? So right, I'm actually breaking down my head. $3,000 an hour.
Yeah, no, $3,000 a week.
No.
No, no,
What-
an hour.
what have you-
$3,000 a day. Sorry, per person per day.
I'm just thinking of the boat for the hour.
Yeah.
Right. So it's roughly 70,000, 72,000 divided by 3 is 24.
Oh, you mean paying, not getting? Got it.
I'm so confused
Anyway,
right now.
it costs them $3,000 an hour basically to be customers on this boat.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right. Like
as a group. Okay,
the
sure.
expectation is just so damn high at that point.
You gotta get those fucking
Their
nuts faster than
expectations
30
were
minutes.
fucking high.
Right. And like you don't really blame like they're not going to be mean about it, but at the same time, you don't blame them too much of like having high expectations, paying that much money.
You
Like-
certainly don't want to be waiting 30 minutes for your fucking nuts
Right.
when you're paid $3,000 an hour.
No,
Right.
definitely not. I mean, but like, The chef definitely took the beating pretty well. I think that he kind of
Yeah.
knows it. It's just sort of part of that
Yeah.
job that
Yeah.
sometimes you have to take a beating on this stuff. Like,
Totally.
Oh yeah,
you
he
know.
was like, I'm just real sad. Like I
Yeah,
gotta like
it's
step
just
it
like,
up.
you know.
I feel like they got themselves in this like circle of like not having fun because they were just complaining about everything instead of just like, you know, oh, let's go talk to this other boat. That just didn't go well. And that just kind of sets the tone.
They
I
got
mean, the
rejected.
nuts definitely
That
didn't.
one,
Yeah.
that one had the potential to be fun, but after they got rejected by all the, none of them would even let them talk to
Well,
the
there's
actual
also
people.
there was also a bunch of cameras with them. Like, that's definitely gonna.
There are a
you
bunch
know-
of cameras, and they're rolling up to these like ultra yachts, and like the security guys are like, "Nah, you can't come in here. What do you mean?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
these clients are paying $3,000 an hour to have a private vacation in this bay. They don't want you rolling
yeah,
in here.
You can't bring your reality show in here.
Yeah, I can't
Right.
blame them at all. Like, if the cameras weren't there, maybe it's still slim to
Like
none.
you're gonna have to have you guys sign a release. Like,
Yeah.
so
Insanity.
like I just feel like they weren't in the right mood for this either. They're just getting into this bitchy kind of mode. They're not gonna have fun if you're just bitching about everything all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I understand your expectations are high, and they should be, but you could be like, hey, I didn't really like this meal. Could you make like the next meal better, or like, can you bring me something else without being real bitchy about it?
There's definitely a better way to go about it.
Just to be happier about
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're spending $3,000 an
Yeah.
hour. Don't be like
Try to enjoy it.
enjoy it. Don't be bitchy about it.
Yeah.
But if like
Maybe they enjoy bitching.
$3,000 an hour is like $100 to me, then like
Yeah.
you know, maybe it's not a big deal.
I mean, I think that James could be honest and be like, maybe like an ingredient of a great vacation for them is just getting to harass and boss around like servants.
I mean,
you
they're
know?
definitely
Like,
paying enough.
Some
that,
people,
like,
Yeah.
I'm sure, enjoy that kind of stuff, right?
but then
Just get their kicks out.
why do
like-
they come in the next day saying that we're not having a good time if their good time
That's
is
part of it. They
bitching?
want to go bitch to the captain.
but now it's the ultimate.
Yeah, they're escalating their bitching. They're getting bored with just bitching out.
That's why
Hannah.
they want that captain dinner at the end, just
Right.
to lash out.
Oh,
You
dude,
know.
the captain dinner's just a 4-hour bitch fest.
I'm gonna lay out some complaints we have.
Yeah, there's no food for the captain at the captain's dinner.
No, just have to sit there and take it.
I was kind of curious though, like, so I think you're onto something here, which is like, okay, so you're on this big boat or this big yacht, to be correct.
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking? Like, so, like, you know, like, I think, like, what are the activities? What are the things? Like, it sounds like day 2 there was some excursion plan. Day 1 it seemed like, okay, it's just like you know, get some drinks, maybe hang out. Like, I don't know, but like you're spending a lot of money. I'm just kind of curious, like, what
There's
is
a
what are
there's
you
a
trying to do?
jacuzzi.
Yeah,
I'm definitely hitting that jacuzzi.
I mean,
for sure.
I think, you know, you're lounging on the boat, you're hanging out, you're having drinks, you're in the jacuzzi, they're making you some nice snacks and some meals. You're
waiting for those snacks.
you're waiting for the nuts. You know,
pitching
you're
out to all the people that are helping you.
You're
Well,
you're harassing servants.
Right.
You're,
Like-
all the fun things.
Are they just like a little bored on this yacht and they're just like, I don't know, we got nothing else to talk about. Like, how shitty is the service?
Oh, for sure.
Like,
That's
there's probably not any like TV or anything, like, or maybe there is.
I mean,
don't know.
there's
Probably
definitely
satellite.
a TV, but I don't see these people watching it.
Yeah, they just get fun by bitching out all the
I mean, I
crew.
think that's was part of the excursion thing that they tried to do to go to the other boats was like they were bored.
right.
Maybe this bitching just is an evolution of them being bored. Like, I'm bored. These nuts didn't come fast enough. I'm eating, you know, pasta out of a bowl. Who eats things out of a bowl? What is this? My dog eats out of a bowl. Like, that's the line of logic that's happened over the like 8 hours they're on that boat.
I really want to get that sound bite. That was a great sound bite.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. else on that?
I mean, do we want to transition away from the guests?
yeah, sure.
I mean, so there is like one person that's kind of meaningful that we haven't talked about, and I don't remember her name.
Is it Casey?
Is she the pageant person?
Yeah.
So Casey
Yeah.
lives at home with her parents
In Long Island.
in
Long
Long
Island.
Island,
Long
and
Island.
like is really attractive and is like goes on pageants.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I'm with Max on this one.
I thought she was attractive.
She's definitely
Okay.
attractive, but
All
I
right.
wouldn't put the adjective.
all
Moving
right.
on.
Whatever. I'm certain times she's more attractive than others, maybe. Anyway, so she's like, she's on this boat. She's getting seasick, which is insane. Because you're on the Mediterranean, which isn't like super bad.
Calmest.
It's pretty calm.
Yeah.
Weather was
And
good.
like she has this insane line that's like, yeah, I never got seasick at home because the boat never left the dock or
Never left the bay.
never left the bay.
Yeah.
Which is, I can't imagine the bay be like the bay and the Mediterranean can't be that far apart from each other. Like,
Mediterranean.
I mean, it is a sea,
yeah,
so like
yeah.
certainly it is worse.
Yeah, but yeah,
But she is like sick this whole episode.
She's
She-
puking her brains out constantly.
like it slowly becomes clear that she has may potentially lied her way onto this job, because it's like she has never been on a boat that hasn't been out of a bay, so she kind of is, you know, getting sick all the time. She claimed to be a bartender when there's like, hey, like, you know, hey, you a bartender, what kind of cocktails you can make? It like, yeah, like I'm a bartender, I mostly make like Jack and Coke, like stuff like that.
And they cut away to like two people looking at each other.
Just like, oh shit. And then and then in the preview for like something for later in the season, we saw there's like, hey, you said on your resume that you were a barista. You can't make like some basic coffee drink or
So-
something.
I can actually explain that one.
Okay.
They asked her to make a long black.
Okay.
A long black is very common in Commonwealth countries and unheard of in the United States.
What is a long?
Never heard of a
black?
long black, so
Uh,
It's like a long
it-
shot espresso.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a double espresso.
Gotcha. Do you think that's the kind
So
of thing you
it's
would know
like
if
a-
you were a barista?
I don't think so.
Like a terminology thing. It sounds like a terminology thing, but like
sounds like you just Google it and you're like, oh, okay.
I mean, the
this-
idea of like a long shot and a short shot is kind of like one. It's on the end of the course of being 101, right? It's like like a black drink. Like I don't. That's some kind of like. It's probably table stakes.
I don't know what a long and a short are.
It's the how much water you pass through the espresso, like the coffee grinds. Basically.
Your point kind of being though, like if you're claiming that you have baristas on your resume, that
Like
you
you would
know
have
this.
right? I ain't no barista, and I know that.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I think it's reasonable for somebody who has no travel experience to make this mistake. Far less reasonable than the like Jack and Coke.
Sure.
Yeah.
And the fact that she gets seasick and
Well,
she
yeah.
signed up for this job.
Oh, and so she also lives at home with her parents. So like one of the first scenes is she's trying to figure out how to do the laundry. She's like, I've never done laundry before in my life. Can someone teach me how to use the
That's
washing machine?
insane.
Which
It's a-
like if she's never done laundry before, there must be so many things she's about to have to learn how to do in order to staff the ship.
Yeah.
Like,
She's not qualified to be on the ship. it sounds
Hannah
like, in any way.
essentially has to be like a mom in this situation and like teach her how to be like a real human being. Apparently,
yeah. I don't know
Like-
if Hannah's gonna do that, but
Hannah's definitely not
she's gonna
doing
boot
that.
her off the ship.
I can't believe in the next time on she's still on this ship.
Incredible.
Right.
Well, I think that goes to the point you made earlier, which is like how much of this is like because it's a TV show, these things keep like, you know what I mean? Like if that was like an actual thing, there's like you're seasick, you don't know how to do any of the things, you lied about all these things on your resume, you're off this boat.
Yeah.
Like the
First
next port we
excursion-
stop, you're out.
First excursion, you're out. Captain's calling up, back out home. We need another steward. Line it up.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that she has to have some sort of connection to Bravo. Like her parents are like connected in some way. There's no way.
You think it's some kind of 1-800-Ask Gary situation?
I don't know if it's that level, but like there's got to be some strings pulled to get her this job. Like there's not like anyone in this interview process is like, "Hey, make me a mojito." Like make me like this thing like
That has to be
how
part
do
of
you
the job,
how do you
right?
do
Like-
laundry? Like
Yeah.
you have to interview these people because they're you're responsible for these $3,000 an hour. Like you got to be able to do like these basic things.
For sure.
how much do you think it was just like they picked this person because it would be good for TV?
And I mean that's the only reason you pick this person.
Right. It has to be, right?
Like producers of a reality show interviewed this person, not people trying to hire for a boat at this caliber.
Yeah. It seems like this would normally be the thing that like the captain would interview everyone before they're like on the boat. And that didn't seem like it happened. Like even
It
on the
was
show, she
so
was like, we got to
weird.
go talk. 'cause
She
I have
was
some
meeting
questions."
it seemed like almost the entire crew for the first time when they got to the ship.
Yeah.
Which, like, maybe that's common for this sort of thing. I have no idea.
I
I
highly
think-
doubt that.
I doubt that too, but I do think that there is like this onshore crew that could be doing most of that work. It's possible, but I feel like that would be unlikely because you're hiring these people before the season.
Mm-hmm.
So like somebody has to like talk to them. At least you talk to them over the phone. So maybe not like meeting them in person.
Right.
Because like all these people aren't like living in Italy or wherever
they all
they
came in
start.
from all over
Yeah.
the world, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's probably common to be like, oh, get a reference from somebody to like get on the boat.
Yeah.
But if you're certainly like new, like this, whatever her name is, there's no way you don't interview that person to make sure that she's okay
Yeah,
as the captain of the ship.
you have to.
Oh yeah.
When the stakes are this high, there can be no mistakes.
I mean, in all
Oh,
reality,
yeah.
I think that anyone coming on this boat is there for a plug and like, you know, spending the money that they would spend anyway for the
Right.
plug or for this vacation. I think they're seeing it as a plug and a vacation at the same time. So like, I'm not sure that the expectations are as high as if I wasn't getting that plug,
Maybe that's true.
right? Like,
Yeah.
it's part of a business expense to get this plug on national TV for like $1 million and a
We're
half.
assuming this is part of the equation. Yeah.
It has to be.
It
There's
is
no
something,
there's no
right?
way. Like, I can't imagine these people like being on this reality show without some sort of like,
Some kind of compensation has to happen.
yeah. And I think a plug would be the perfect reason for it. You know, the business can write it off as a business expense because it's a plug.
Yeah.
The CEO gets a vacation out of it without spending any money. Right? Like, there's too many incentives for that not to be how this came about.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine anyone else not doing the same thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to the internet corner to figure out if the customers pay.
Jesus.
Oh,
The customers are definitely paying.
Okay, so customers are paying, but how much do you think you're making as somebody that works on this boat for like the summer?
so I crunched some math and not doing like fuel or anything. Just that 280 divided by 13 people divided by 7 is $3,000 a day. Hence the confusion previously.
Yeah, and they also
3,000
don't get equal shares.
Right.
Captain
but
definitely
just,
takes most.
Sure, obvious. Not, yeah.
Well, so no, sorry. So
Just
so-
on average.
So it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
$3,000
good level.
$3,000 a day a person.
Or sorry, $3,000 a week.
A person.
Yeah.
And that's not including gas. You said or
It's
something.
not. Well, he's just taking.
Or-
He
Ju-
doesn't
just like-
include any expenses, so that's why that number's over.
Oh,
Right. So
you could probably
or-
just cut it in half.
or the
So it's like,
company's
yeah, cut it in half.
company's margins and yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Like all the overhead, the sale, like all that stuff. Like by
That's
the time
not terrible.
those
Like
people aren't getting that.
you're a deckhand of this boat. You're getting free room and board for the whole summer. What do you think? You end up making $500 a week, $250 a week, something like that.
no, you're making more than that.
You think?
Like Hannah mentioned that she's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
I feel like you're making over the course of like the 6 months you're working on this, like 6 figures for sure.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like
has
working
to
on
be
like a
s-
fishing boat.
You're right.
Like
Oh,
eat
crazy.
every I don't know if
It's very
like
seasonal, and like you get large sums, but like it's not
I don't
steady
know
work
if
either.
like the bottom like deckhand people making that, but like
Yeah.
certainly the chef, certainly
Oh yeah, the chef. No
like
question.
the skill jobs for
the
sure.
chef.
the head
the
steward,
captain.
the steward staff, all 3 of them are making 6 figures. I'm not sure like the making
Man, I don't
the
know.
like you're definitely making a lot of money doing this. No, you wouldn't do it.
Well, so that was
No,
actually kinda
Noah's
gonna
been
be-
raising his hand.
Oh, do you have some?
I got something from the internet corner.
What do you have?
Okay.
So I found out they do get a discount.
Okay.
The discount is very steep.
Okay.
For being on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it comes out to roughly $10,000 a person for the week.
Oh shit! Let's do it.
Yeah.
Beyond the show.
Now I really don't understand why these people are
Yeah.
being such bitches
So-
and assholes.
Yeah, so it's the deal is 5 people for $55,000. That includes airfare, the boat, the food, like everything.
Really?
Easy.
It doesn't seem like these people are like they said they were part of their vacation, like this is the end of their vacation.
They might
not
have
like
done
the
something
start.
else, but the package Bravo was recruiting against. So Bravo does put up a recruitment for customers to be on the show.
Right.
And as part of that recruitment pitch, they said it's $55,000 for five like close friends, whatever. And they actually like position it as we expect there to be some drama. Like so they're trying to get the ham in place. But yeah, $55,000 for 5 people, airfare, food, boat.
Maybe
everything.
that's why they're hamming it up because Bravo's told them to ham it up
Yeah.
because they feel like they're getting this $200,000 discount.
You got to earn that trip.
You got to earn the trip.
Noah, I gotta hand it to you. That might be your best internet corner yet.
Yeah.
Where is the source on this?
I'll send it up. I'll send it around. I'll
Bravo.tv
send it around.
/
Put in the plug. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Don't be afraid to give the crew a little bit of a hard time if something's not quite up to your standards.
maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, the producers might just be sitting there going, "How long has it been since you asked for those nuts?
It's been
huh?
a little bit since those nuts came out.
Do you think you should have to wait that long for those?
Can you
nuts?
say
How
the
do you
word
feel about that?
nuts again?
Yeah.
Do you think the producers have like they got earpieces in?
Well, so I bet the other reason that it's only 5 people and not like the boat's full capacity is because it's like all the camera people and that kind of stuff too. Right?
So like the price that I read was like probably like non-reality show.
It's like, what would it cost an actual
'cause
person to do?
Each season, I think that they seem to have a different boat. So
yeah.
Yeah, so I found a different article that lists out the price for each boat from each season, and it's it's exactly the range that you talked about. And
Yeah.
this boat was on the pricier side. So the boats from earlier seasons were actually cheaper per week, but they're all $200K and up for the
All
week.
right.
yeah, I think that's your starting price for like luxury yacht.
Mega
Yeah.
yacht.
The luxury yacht with crew, all
So
inclusive.
the 55K, maybe we could do some sort of who put this on vacation.
Oh,
Oh
man.
man, who put this on yacht edition? I'm into it. Let's do it. Yo, Bravo. We will totally go do the podcast.
If we
on
keep
this
winning
boat.
HQ, we'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I really like this podcast on a boat idea, though. Can we go back to that?
I like
Dude,
it, I like
so
it.
much ambient noise.
Yeah.
It would be
Oh,
so
man.
terrible.
Dude, we'll
Our
get Bravo to
audio's
give us great
already
equipment.
terrible.
We'll have them just record it. We'll get them to do our audio and everything. We're not just bringing Max's laptop on this yacht. So I actually have a question here though, which is, would you want to be in any position that you want on this crew? Like, do you think it's interesting at all?
I wouldn't mind being like the hired hand people, just to be on a boat and like have fun and make six-figure, like make a
Travel,
bunch of
go to
money
different
for
ports.
like 6 months and then not work for 6 months.
I think it'd be like fun to do during like a college summer type situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think
Yeah.
that the people on the show are definitely just like boaters that they've been boating.
Yachties.
Yachties.
Yachties. Yeah.
And yachties. Okay, we'll call them yachties.
No. They call themselves yachties.
That's the official Bravo term.
I was-
or
Yeah.
yachty industry
Yeah, the
term.
yachty.
Okay.
Yachty.
I don't know if all of them were yachties, but some of them, most
They
of
made
them
it seem like one of them was like, I chose the yachty life, and she's like, I graduated college, my parents were like, fine, do your thing, and I was like, I'm now a yachty for 4 years.
It's like Noah, how long you been yachting?
Right,
Like,
like-
they ask each other those types of
she
questions.
was very
right?
proud of calling herself a yachty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, if you're in the yacht industry,
So I don't know how hard it is to break into a luxury yacht crew. I can't imagine it's super easy.
I mean, the Fire Island
Right.
captain, he had to start from the bottom.
right?
He was a captain.
deckhand, and yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
you're like, I'll
So,
clean
like,
whatever.
I would think that if you're like reasonably competent and reliable, you can probably get a job on one of these boats, right? Like,
I don't know how many openings there are. That's the problem.
yeah.
I mean,
There's
Brooke
only
from Long
so
Island
many
sits a
people
bar low.
that can spend 200K for like
Right.
a week.
no, I mean that's true.
I'm sure the first question is like, have you ever been on a boat before? And you're like, no. And they're like, okay, so next, right?
They're like they get a stack of resumes and they're like,
Sure, like having a little bit of experience would be good.
if you knew how to like sail and you took like sailing lessons, like maybe you could work that way
Oh, yeah.
into like being a deckhand. By
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
like you
yeah,
know how boats work, you know boating terminology. They don't have to like send you a YouTube video that you have to follow for like 10 hours learning like basic boating.
No, like anyone doing like the boat stuff, they probably have a boat license. It's not that hard to get.
oh yeah,
They got like a basic.
Jesse, you're
boat
gonna need more than just
Okay.
like a license.
I don't know how to say this.
We're all just watching this.
Sorry. Depending on where you are, there's no such thing as a boat license.
Oh, interesting.
Uh,
I was thinking
there
the
is
same
a
thing.
motorized boat license. There's not like a sailing license or anything. You can just take that baby.
Maybe it's just motorboat. Like when I lived in Long Island, I got like a boat license.
Yeah. So for motorized things, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
yeah.
But like, you went through like all the terminology, like how to like go into port, like how to
Yeah.
undock, like yeah.
Right.
I don't. I don't think these yacht people would care at all if you have a U.S. motorized yacht like boating
Yeah.
license.
Right.
I think it's
Obviously,
all, like,
it's
New
not
York
like
State.
really
How many years
transferable,
have you been boating?
but it just feels like a basic competence, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely gonna have to like demonstrate that you know what port and aft are and like starboard. Like you need to know the.
I
boating
like that
terms.
Chris just. That's like right and behind you.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
I was
go.
giving
Let
out
him go.
boat terms.
Stay in the boat.
Chris isn't applying to be on the boat.
I'm definitely not qualified to be on this boat at all.
Okay.
So, like, the fact that I would be a deckhand, I'd have to spend that 10 hours on YouTube learning all these stupid
Whole
boat
10-hour
things.
session, 10-hour YouTube binge, and you're good.
I mean, to learn all the boat terms, I don't know. I don't know how long that would take.
Nah, 10 hours is more than enough. It's really not that much.
I mean, I think it'd be more about the repetition.
I think it's gonna take you a little bit to learn some of those knots. Maybe
The
the
knots
knots
are
could be
hard.
tough.
Knots are hard.
yeah. Not to take time.
It's like saying like it's gonna take you forever to learn the metric. Like if you're just in that environment, you'll just pick it up.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to be in that environment because they're not going to let you unless you know.
Yeah, when I'm like standing on the dock and then they're coming back from their little like husband hunt. And they just throw you the rope, like, all right, tie the boat up. And you're like, oh, fuck, I'll not tie the boat up. That doesn't
Yeah.
seem good.
If you're in charge of tying a knot and you don't know how to tie a knot, that's a problem.
Well, you got to know all the boating, like the.
Not everybody knows everything.
You
right?
never
Like,
know when someone's
you got your
asking you to
engineers
tie a
that know
knot.
how to fix the engine. Then you got your deckhands that know how to do the ropes and the anchors and all that
Yeah,
shit.
I don't
And
know
you
what
got
the
steward.
responsibilities of
Right.
a deckhand generally are,
Right.
but I guarantee you it's about tying knots a bunch of
Oh, it's
places.
yeah.
You're
100%.
going to have to know like at least 10 different knots.
At least.
At least.
There's a few base knots you gotta know, but I don't. You know.
Sorry, Noah has to leave, but before he goes, we gotta get your rating.
Yeah.
oh, we're doing ratings.
Oh,
Let's
we
do
do.
it.
We need your ratings, Noah.
This is top third. It was really enjoyable to watch a show. Very enjoyable. Like they packed a lot in there. They set a really good start to the beginning of the season that I would easily tune in to watch again.
All right.
All right,
there you go.
There we go. Thanks
Thanks,
for joining
Noah.
us, Noah.
We'll see you next time, Noah.
Thanks for
You
having me.
bouncing out? All right. Yeah.
I'll go.
Cool.
I think it's middle third. I think that Vanderpump was more interesting. I think that the problem that I have with the show, I mean, is the fact that the guests are like such a main focus of the show, and they're just like so they can be hit or miss. And I didn't like these people. I thought they were bad to watch. I didn't want to watch them, and the fact that apparently, people come in for cheaper vacation and they're told to ham it up. I can't imagine any other guests being that much better. So, middle third, it's not bad. I like this formula. It's surprisingly good to have like some sort of business with the workers in some sort of reality show. Like, I was definitely in for the first like 20 minutes, half hour of the show. Like, I kind of liked learning, and like I was like, oh, this is gonna be like Vanderpump, and I just didn't like the people as much, and I didn't like the guest. So, and I don't like the guest structure.
Yeah. It's
Sure.
just the way the model of it works. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's reasonable.
Whereas like Vanderpump, when we watch that, the guests there's no guests. It's
Yeah.
all just the people, and they're all like signed up to be in this reality show. It's all about their drama. They can bring the other thing is they can bring other people into the show, like their boyfriends or girlfriends. Whereas like this, are they gonna bang? Are they not gonna bang? Like there's only 13 of them,
And they're on a
right?
boat.
So like, if they don't bang, like, all right, well, I guess next season maybe they'll bang, and somebody else will come in and they'll bang. I don't know. Like,
You just need to have some banging in
there's got to be some banging going on, or this is real boring.
So I agree with Chris. That's maybe a middle third, top of the middle third, for the complete inverse reason, where I was real bored for the first 20 minutes, and once they got somebody in there for me to hate on, ooh, that really worked for me.
That's interesting.
I feel like if you liked that part, you just watch the rest of the season, because the beginning part was just introing people. The next, they're not going to have a lot of that, I think.
But man, that sizzle reel for the rest of the season, a lot of stuff going on.
So, are you doing middle or top?
Middle third,
Middle, okay.
top of the middle.
Top. Middle.
And middle plus.
The sizzle reel has me thinking maybe I won't watch anymore, but it has me thinking maybe.
I feel like I won't. But yeah. Okay.
Harrison, what do you got?
Ooh, I think this one's gonna sneak into my top third.
Ooh.
Actually, Yeah, I really liked it. I mean, I you know, it's an interesting look at a world that I don't know a ton about. So that's always kind of interesting. I feel like shows about this, like, various service industries are always pretty interesting. So yeah, I definitely liked it. Like, I'll probably, like, so top third show. I'm gonna watch episode 2.
Let us know.
See how it starts going. But like, I think it's off to a really good strong start. I am a little bit disappointed to hear from Noah that it sounds like the groups that go on the show are kind of like 4 or 5 person things. I was curious to see if they got some, like, 16 person bachelor party episode, like how they're dealing with that situation or some things like that would be kind of interesting.
Maybe they'll change it up. I mean, that's just like a package that they were selling, so you don't really know.
Sure.
Like that. Not every episode. I doubt that
That could be
every episode's full people.
The slight tweak on the show that I think would be really interesting to see is like this show, but about the crew on like a Carnival cruise ship, like just like the big scale on it would be really cool.
There's way more people on a Carnival cruise ship.
Oh yeah,
and there's this way, like, the business side of the Carnival cruise ship. Like, you get away with this because it's like it's not a small business.
Yeah,
but it's not a big business.
I definitely don't think that you could make the Carnival cruise ship reality show, but I think it'd be really interesting because like there must be so many things that happen on that boat every day that are fucking insane to deal with.
So I have news for you.
Yeah.
That show exists.
It exists.
I've seen it.
Oh man.
I can't remember the name of it, so I'll maybe have to follow up with a tweet or something.
Okay.
When I get it, but it's definitely a show that exists. I specifically remember this because at the time when I was living in Florida, I remember they were filming it at the Port of Miami, and it was like a big thing. Like, I just remember like local papers that were like talking about it, whatever. But they kind of talk about it from the service industry standpoint. So they basically, that show, they kind of start from like the port and the boarding of the ship and like all the pre-prep to the boat leaving to then being on the boat and like, okay, we're gonna run this event now, and it's like they get like 50 crew members and like
So-
we're gonna do the dance at 4 p.m. or whatever.
Is it more like documentary about how a cruise ship is run, or a reality show about
That's
a
fair.
cruise ship?
It did feel a little more documentary-esque.
Which I'm still
but
interested in,
Yeah,
for
I think
sure.
it was a little more documentary style, but I do seem to think there was
All
some
right,
drama.
I'm looking
You
some
find it?
stuff up, but James, I think we need your.
Oh yes. So rating, no surprises here. This is a top third show for me.
James loves boat country.
I do like boating, as I alluded to, and drinking on boats. Those are both things I enjoy. I'm gonna give it a 2 on the James scale. Mostly just because like I don't know that like it's the kind of show that I would have to tune in every single week to. But if it's on, I would like certainly be interested. I do kind of want to see where episode 2 goes, so I will follow up with that. But yeah, I think they do a lot of things like really well. Like I feel like I learned a little bit, so that was kind of cool. Just like seeing how the service industry works, like what's going on here. I like seeing like the lives and like the updates about the people that like the actual crew is like the behind the scenes kind of look, right? It's like oh yeah, like they're just bitching about the guests. I didn't really like the guests, but actually Max I think is onto something here, which is like it sort of gave you something to like talk about and like debate with like people you're watching. Like, man, these people are assholes, right? And so like it was actually kind of fun, even though I hated the people and I would not like want to ever treat someone that way or like you treat that way. But I do think it adds an element that like kind of makes it good for TV.
It kind of makes you feel like you're
it's a love hate on that.
kind of makes you feel like you're kind of like on the crew with them, just like bitching about the guests,
Yeah.
like with the crew, you know?
I feel like the way this thing is shot and presented, like you kind of feel like you're with the crew. You're on the crew side.
Yeah, I
right?
mean,
Like it's not from the perspective of the guest. It's really from the perspective of the behind the scenes.
yeah, and like
So
definitely feels familiar if you've had like service industry jobs and stuff. And, like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah. I don't know. I really liked that. It was a fun watch. Would recommend it.
All right.
So Carnival Cruise Line has its own set of shows.
Oh
That-
my god! Get out of
that's
here!
not what I'm
They're
looking
now
for,
a
but-
content producer. They're producing content.
Okay,
So I thought that was kind of funny.
that's great.
So I don't know if I have the specific one. There's some sort of show called Cruise Ship. That might be it. It's reality documentary miniseries of 10 episodes that follows crew of large cruise ship around the Mediterranean.
Oh, okay.
Is
Seems like
like
it could be.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Is the actual description.
Interesting.
There's also Cruise Ship Confidential. which
Oh,
is
yeah,
Ooh.
that's what I
reality
want.
TV
That's what I
genre
want.
Reality TVs. I don't know anything about it. I have to click in, but there's also some sort of Mighty Cruise Ships, which is a documentary.
We'll pencil it in.
Pencil some of those in. Future on Who Put This On.
What are some fun twists we can think of on this show?
Would be better if
Everyone's
everyone was
naked.
I mean,
everyone's a child.
What if?
the
What
crew's
if?
real hot, so if they were naked, it wouldn't. But the guests, I don't know. I don't need to see.
Would it be worth it, James? Would it be worth it? Let me know.
Is it some kind of like swingers cruise now? Like I'm confused.
Isn't it? And just everyone. It's like
Everyone's naked.
It's like a nudist colony.
I don't
but
think
it's
the show
on a
would be
boat.
better if everyone's naked. It's fun to think about, but I don't think it'd be good.
Some sort of dating aspect.
Yeah, I was thinking of this idea and like if there was like also a dating reality show happening on the ship at the same time, and then I was thinking like, well, what if there was a reality show that was about the people that staffed the Bachelor in Paradise resort? I feel like that could be really
would be
good too.
Oh yeah, I like that.
What if it was like dating naked, but on this boat?
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh,
What
I
if
do
it's-
like that. I like there's an element of you have to like survive on the boat, or like you're getting booted off the boat at the next port.
Walk
kind
the
of element.
plank.
Yeah, walking the plane would be great. What do you think?
No, I feel like you just get launched on the dinghy. They like
This
you gotta go. You get a crew member, it takes you on the boat to like some close port because they never like leave the like sight of land or something.
They just push you off in the dinghy with a bottle of champagne for you to do hospitality checks until you're dead. And that's it.
That'd be kind of fun.
how do you think the show would be different if it was on MTV?
Okay, I got this. MTV's real in on having their hosts be rappers. You got like Lil Romeo and shit. They'd hire Lil Yachty.
No, dude, P Diddy.
Yachty.
Gotta be P Diddy. P
Oh,
Diddy
yeah.
already owns a yacht. It's just P Diddy's yacht, and it's welcome to P Diddy's yacht.
That could be.
I feel like
Do you have what it takes to hang and party with P Diddy on his yacht?
it has to be some sort of competition.
What about
Right? Can
Love
you
and
party
Hip Hop
and keep
on
up
a
with
yacht?
P Diddy?
What
Love
was
and hip
that?
hop on a
Love
yacht.
and Hip Hop on a yacht?
Yeah.
Is Love and Hip Hop a MTV show?
No.
I think
I
that's
don't fucking know.
VH1.
Like Teen Mom on a yacht?
Teen Mom on a yacht.
No.
Just all the people that used to work on these yachts that got pregnant while on the yacht, they can't work on the yachts anymore.
What
Because
about-
they
Yeah,
are-
challenge on the yacht.
What about a YouTube show where they just interview people and eat buffalo wings on a yacht, and it's called Yacht Ones?
Oh man.
That's a deep cut.
all right.
Cut it off.
Cutting it off. So Legion ended yesterday,
Okay.
and the season has some ups and downs, but it's a really entertaining show. I think that there's, I think the end had some, as this Me Too movement like rolls through the U.S. There's some of that happens, and so I can't fully recommend, but it's definitely, I don't know if it's gearing towards going Breaking Bad, but you're not quite sure, and that's the best part, is you're not sure,
Ooh.
and like there aren't a lot of TV shows like that. So shout outs again to Legion.
That's cool. All right.
Anyone watching anything else?
Watch a lot of E3.
Yeah.
It's hot to
New
use that.
streaming
E3.
content.
What are you excited about, Max?
Cyberpunk. Those Slavic developers can do no wrong.
Have you played all of the Witcher games, or just?
I've played Witcher 2 and 3 and all their DLC. I have not played 1.
That's so much.
That's reasonable. That's a lot of content.
Yeah. Especially going backwards has got to be tough.
I mean, I played 2 first.
Yeah, I'm just
I
saying.
w- I
Like,
was
if you
early
went,
to the Witcher game.
like if you went and played Witcher 1 now, I mean,
Oh, no fucking
That'd be
way.
way too rough.
that's what I'm saying. It's like even if you play Witcher 3, I think it would be hard to go back to Witcher 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a great documentary I just saw from NoClip on YouTube about the making of Fallout 76. Really, really interesting. They actually did a couple of documentaries with Bethesda that are pretty good.
I'm
I'd
surprised
recommend checking those out.
That they did a documentary before the game's even out. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's real early to do publicity for Fallout 7. Like,
I mean, it comes
Like,
out in November.
it's
now
not-
it comes out in November, but like you're trying to. I feel like this would be better marketing to come out in like September.
yeah.
or
So
October.
I
But I think there's something else on that, which is their DLC right now, right? Like, didn't they put some DLC or something for Fallout 4?
I don't.
I
think
could be wrong
so.
there. Okay,
Right.
maybe I was thinking of the wrong game.
But like I think that I think that the strategy was basically like they're announcing like a totally different kind of Fallout game, and they don't have as much time to cover everything in their press briefing. So like, I think maybe they kind of view the documentary as like a companion piece to like explain a little bit more of their thinking, because like they're worried that people will misunderstand that game.
I'm sure people already have.
Oh yeah, for sure. So
Okay, I mean I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
yeah,
It just-
it was definitely
it
interesting.
seems like a marketing piece, and it feels early.
Yeah, because like they weren't really there for the whole development. They basically brought them in like 6 weeks before the announce. They kind of got to like chat with all the people that worked on like about like the history of it, but it's not like they've been like filming them for the last however many years, right?
I mean, I watched the No Clip documentary. It was Grand Theft Auto 5, but
Yeah.
it was about a community from Grand Theft Auto 5 online, and I was like,
Oh, man.
why am I watching this? Like, it's nothing to do with the making of Grand Theft Auto at all. It's just about these people that got together by playing Grand Theft Auto, but it wasn't just Grand Theft Auto. Like, some of them met before, so it was just like
Was it interesting?
somewhat, just wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah,
Like, I watched the Rocket League one.
yeah,
The Rocket League's great. You get to like they go over like the history and like go through the emotional roller coaster of making like and how Rocket League like went
Mhm.
off, and it's just like I watched this other documentary with the same people, and it's like, yeah, we throw a party once a year. All these people come in, and like this is where we met, and like, and I'm just like, why am I watching this? Like it's just like complete. Like I want to know about the games and making of the games. I don't want to like. I understand the community is a different aspect,
yeah. You're just not
but don't
interested.
call it Grand Theft Auto 5 online documentary. Like call it like
Yeah,
the community of
Meet
Grand
the
Theft
crew
Auto.
that
Like,
made it or something.
Yeah.
or it's just like meet like this like online community that plays Grand Theft Auto 5, or like the way they labeled it
Felt like
made-
the-
Sure.
like
False
a double,
advertising.
false advertising.
yeah.
But definitely excited for new Doom. Doom was my
Yeah.
game of the year
New
last
Doom
year.
looks good.
And Spider-Man is still
Mhm.
looking good. They announced
Always
that.
looks
so
Yeah,
those are some of the games that
yeah.
interest me.
Definitely a lot of interesting stuff coming out. Podcast recommendation. I've been listening to Binge Mode Harry Potter, which just started this week. Binge Mode is this podcast that The Ringer does. They did the first kind of season of it with Game of Thrones, where they did one podcast for every Game of Thrones episode, and it's cool because they basically like take into account like every book and movie and like piece of content that like is canon like about the thing, like in discussing all the parts of it. It's like they this week was all book one, so they're doing like 5 chapters a day per podcast, and then they're gonna do the movie on Friday. Should be interesting.
The most interesting aspect is that they talk about the whole series.
For sure.
So like when you listen to like a Westworld podcast, they're just talking about like the latest episode. You never
Yeah.
like really have podcasts that go, you know, back in time and talk about Westworld season 1, episode 1 after like the whole series is over.
Totally.
Until like or
Right.
like when season 2 is over, you never really go back and talk specifically in such detail at specific things.
I'm curious, how do they do that? Like, is it like from a spoilers perspective? Is
It is.
It's like
all spoilers all the
right.
time on
it's just
everything.
full context,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
So
hey, given everything you know about the Harry Potter universe,
they will talk about how things
like this is going to affect
They
whatever.
will talk about how things that happen in the last book are set up by things that happen in the first book, and like all this stuff, and like it's like there's like a bunch of stuff that like when you read through those books the first time, or you don't like think about it in that much detail, you wouldn't know all these connections that are kind of earlier in the book to things that are later. Like,
So it seems like they're kind of going after like more of the diehard fans or the fans that are really into
Yeah.
it at least.
oh, it's definitely.
I mean,
yeah,
the release
most
schedule
diehard.
is insane. So,
They're-
like, I've been keeping up too, and it's been like 2 hours of audiobook followed by like an over-hour podcast a day for like the last like
Oh
3 days.
man.
Yeah, it's been rolling.
And I don't know how I've been keeping up with it, to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah, but
It's mostly like I've already like I know the story well
Yeah.
enough that I probably don't have to listen to the audiobook.
It's like you're just
and
kind of
it's mostly like at work,
Yeah.
just kind of like
background.
background noise.
Yeah,
Especially since I don't particularly like the first, second, or like
You like
I don't
Goblet
really
of
like
Fire.
the early books that much because they're like more kid geared than like
yeah.
book
sure.
6 is so good that like it
Yeah.
clouds my judgment on the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
ones.
Makes
Has
sense.
anybody here ever watched Wizard People Dear Reader?
No.
It's a guy just dubs over the entirety of the first movie with his own voice, and it's incredible.
It's just with made up lines.
Yeah, just made up lines.
Is it meant to be?
He
Like,
doesn't
funny,
know who any of the
spoofy?
characters are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's great.
I feel like I could get into this.
I have a hot take for you.
Hit me.
I don't like the movies. Like
Uh,
some are better than others, but I'm not.
None of them is as good as the books.
I don't
the
think that
books
they.
are great. I like the movies.
I don't think they tell the story at all. I think it's just like you have to have read the books to understand anything that's happening in almost all of the books and all the movies. Like the first 3 are almost the book, but after
It's
that,
pretty short. Yeah.
forget it. Like you have no idea what's happening in movie 4 or movie 5 or movie 6. Like
you definitely lose a lot of detail, and it's probably because like the amount of content that's in those books, like maybe not quite as big, but it kind of needs like a series like Game of Thrones instead of like a
I just
movie
think that like
series.
it's more about spectacle.
Yeah.
And then like when movie 4 doesn't really set up the things that happen in it's supposed to happen in movie 5, then they're like, whatever, and then they like they never. They're also not filmed very well. They're just like not good movies.
I don't know. I think they're enjoyable.
Some are okay, but I agree that they're nowhere near as good as the
I
books.
feel like the last 2 movies actually were pretty good,
Mhm.
but the movies 4 through 6, just toss them. Also, toss the 4th book. It is by far the worst book.
Toss it.
I kind of enjoy the like Dragon Ball Z-ness of it.
I was talking with Harrison earlier about how I don't like how the kids are doing magic at an adult level when they're like 10, and it makes no sense to me.
Yo, we don't need to get into this whole debate
All right,
again.
all right.
But
Why not?
I think that learning a spell is like unlocking a skill. Like you have the ability to execute this thing now. And like it all depends on how much you study and how much you practice, and they're all skills. Like
Yeah, I get that, but if you're just starting magic,
yeah.
how do you learn how to unlock every door ever?
Because someone, and this is very unclear because they don't really explain this in the book, like somebody wrote a spell that unlocks locks that other people could use, right? Like
But if you were in this world and you actually needed to lock something, you wouldn't lock it because it would be
Chris is-
meaningless.
There's a why would you have locks?
Chris's
question.
biggest sticking point in the Harry Potter franchise, I think, is about locks. So, like, we talked this morning for 2 hours about locks.
It's just
So, Chris, you throw a curse on the lock so that whoever like fucks around with it, they get cursed.
yeah. I'm sure there's ways to do it, but
Like-
no one in the Harry Potter books actually locks their locks and like locks things.
Like, they're- like-
Aloha Mora works 99% of. There's only one instance where it doesn't work.
It seems like there are ways to seal things and lock things that are
What?
they're
What?
not Aloha Morable.
What? Tell me.
When they roll up to the Gringotts vault to get the thing out of it, like the goblin has to do something with his hand to unlock that thing. you know?
Yeah, there is this whole like goblin magic. That
there's
they
some
never
other
really
there's some
touch on.
stuff. I don't know.
All right, we gotta.
Well, fine. All right, Max. We
Sorry,
gotta end
Locks.
it.
it's an
yeah.
hour and 20.
All
Hey,
right.
Gotta go
our fans
deep.
are hungry for that
Our
hot
fans
content.
want to know what we think about Harry Potter.
You want to go deep on Harry Potter? I can go deep on Harry Potter.
We have a bonus episode on Harry Potter, Max.
I have a first edition ordered from Amazon.co.uk. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone,
Oh,
Ooh.
I have
1998, baby.
I have the UK either second or third book because like I read the first one in the
You
US.
gotta get it ASAP.
And then it's out in England. I gotta get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Totally.
Oh wait, did it come out there first?
Yeah, so
yeah.
some of the earlier books that came out in England before it came out in the US, the only way you could get it was like from Amazon.co.uk and they'd ship it to the US.
I mean, I've been listening to the audiobooks. The audiobooks are great.
Yeah, the audiobooks are really good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can find us on Facebook.com/WhoPutThisOn. You can find us on Twitter @WhoPutThisOn. Please email us questions and suggestions at whoputthison@gmail.com. And please rate us on iTunes. I'll see you guys next time.